Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I remove and install a trunnion style rear shock on a mountain bike. Let's get to it. Okay guys, the first thing I want to talk about here is just to make sure everyone's on board. I'm going to be talking about removing and installing a trunnion mounted shock. Basically, there are two types of shocks, a standard mount and a trunnion mount. As you can see on the left side, this is a picture of a standard mounted shock. And on the top part of the shock, a standard mounted shock will have your regular shock hardware will be used to install the shock. Whereas on the right side in the green, I'm showing a trunnion mounted shock. Trunnion mounted shock is more integrated into the frame of the bike. And instead of having mounting hardware attaching it at the top, it will have some trunnion mounting bolts that will screw into the shock and will basically affix it to the frame of the bike. Now, here's a picture of a standard mounted shock. I've drawn in the orange circle how that would typically attach to the frame. As you can see the black mounting bolt inside that orange circle. And on the trunnion mount, you can see at the top of the shock, it's mounted using some trunnion mounting bolts. So I'm going to be talking about, removing and installing a trunnion mounted shock from here on out. The first thing I do is get my bike ready. And the first step, I put the front wheel of the bike in a bike stand. The second thing I do is I attach or put over the down tube some protective cover that as you remove the shock, typically it will drop down, and when it hits that down tube, it can scratch it. So I put some cover over it. And number three, I raise the rear wheel, and I'm going to need to raise the rear wheel here because I'm going to attach the bike stand to the dropper post, and I need to make sure that I've got the bike up high enough to get a good attachment onto the dropper post. Here's another thing I typically do, but unfortunately I omitted this step, but I'm going to show it here. But when you see subsequent videos, you'll see that this actually wasn't done. And this is a step I use to protect the down tube on the bike. And what I have in step number one is I have an old piece of bike tire that I've cut, and I've put a piece of Velcro at the top of that. In step number two, I just insert that cut-off inner tube in between the suspension components of the bike and the down tube. And then in step number three, I attach the Velcro to hold it in place. And like I said, unfortunately, I omitted this step. But if you're concerned, that you would somehow have an unintended strike against that down tube and scratch it, you can insert this tire to protect it. Now, the next thing I do is attach the bike stand to the dropper post. And as you can see in the left side, I'm showing what it looks like with all the different pieces attached to the bike. And on the right side, I'm showing that I've just attached it. And note at this point that the stand is just simply holding the bike up. There's very little stress on the stand. The shock is actually bearing the weight of the bike. And I've drawn a circle in green and pointed at an arrow. You can see that the amount that the park tool stand has been pulled out is very minimal. But what you want to do is once you get the bike in the stand, you want to pull the top part of the stand up just a little bit. And what that will do is that will take some of the weight off of the bike. And this means that there'll be very little weight on the shock, which means that when you remove the bolts, they should come out relatively easy. And so I've circled in green. You can see how the stand is up a little higher up in the bike. But this is an important step to take the stress off of those mounting bolts on the shock. The other thing in this particular case, I did have a cable attached to the shock, and I'm just showing here how I removed that cable before I unscrewed the shock. The other thing I do is I go in and make sure that I've marked an R and an L for the right side and left side on the trunnion mounting bolts. The reason I'm doing that is that the yellow markers line up with yellow markers on the frame. The yellow markers on those bolts line up with the yellow markers on the frame. And once I take those bolts out, I want to know where to put them back in when I reassemble. So I've just marked in white an R and an L on those bolts. Once I do that, I remove the trunnion bolts, and here I have just inserted the tool, and I'm removing those bolts. As you remove these bolts, if you've done it correctly up to this point, there should be relatively, once you break the initial torque on those bolts, you should be able to just unscrew both the right and the left side bolt by hand. That means there's very little pressure on those bolts, and that's a good thing. That makes it the removal and the installation much easier. And once the bolts have removed, the shock will just drop down on the down tube and be part of that protective cover. Once you have that, then you can remove the rear attachment bolt, and it just screws off as I'm showing in this picture on the right. On the left, and then on the right, I've just taken the shock off the bike. So at this point, the removal is complete, and the pictures from here just show me reversing the process, and this is the installation process. The first thing you need to do for installing it, just make sure the bike is set up in the stand as I described previously. But at this point, before you insert or start the process to insert the shock, typically those top trunnion bolts have washers inside the frame. And in the yellow arrow, I'm showing a washer inside the frame. In the red arrow, I've taken that washer out. A lot of times they'll fall out as a part of the removal, and it's very, very important to make sure that those are inserted before you start mounting the shock back. And I've taken some slick oleum with the orange arrow and applied it to those washers. And then in the white arrow at the bottom, I've just pressed those in, and hopefully the grease will hold it in place as a part of the reinstallation process. But it's very important to make sure that that when you do tighten the shock, that those washers are in place. And I'll check them several times, and I'll show it in the process. But this is a very important part. The other thing you need to do is make sure that the shock, that you have the shock lined up the way you want it. In this particular one, I want the DVO emblem, on the shock to line up to the top. So when I'm sitting on the bike, I can see it. And here I just take a screwdriver and stick it in and twist the shock so that I can get that emblem to line up. And then once I get it relatively straight, I will go through and in the picture on the right, I'm just trying to get the rear and the front bolts as lined up as possible. The other thing, don't forget to put the marker on the back on the stanchion, and I'm showing with the yellow arrow that I've inserted it, and also in the orange arrow on the right, you can just see that I've got the DVO emblem lined up where I want it. The next thing I'm showing is I have made some wooden dowels. They're roughly 10 millimeters in diameter. I've beveled the ends of them with a pencil sharpener. And as you can see in the green arrow, I just insert those and line up the shock. On the far right, I'll line both of them up, but then I'll take one of them out and insert the mounting bolts. And in this picture in the far left, I'm putting in the right mounting bolt, and I should be able just to twist it in with my hand. Once I get the mounting bolt twisted in, I'll go in and look and make sure that that washer is in place. That's what the green arrow is showing, to make sure the washer is in place. Once I get those bolts in place, and once again, the top bolts have just been inserted by hand, and I've checked to make sure the washer's in place. Now I'm going to reinsert the rear part of the shock, and I'll take the screwdriver and just make sure it's properly lined up. And if that thing's not lined up really well, it'll be hard to go in, and just keep lining it up until you get it. On the right side, sometimes the plastic mounting washers will come off, and I'm just making sure that the washers are on before I insert the shock into the frame there. And here in the picture on the left, I've inserted the rear of the shock into the attachment point. And now I take an 8mm wooden dowel, and I will insert that just to make sure that it's properly lined up. Once I get it lined up, as you can see with the red arrow, I will insert the shock mounting bolt, the bottom shock mounting bolt. And in the green arrow, sometimes you need to just take your hand and pull up or push down very gently, very lightly on the bike, so that it will line up and the bolt will go in. Once I get the bolt in, I'll tighten it, and I will tighten it so that it's about a quarter turn from being completely tight. And at this point, all the bolts on the bike are about a quarter turn from tight, and I'll just go in and look around, make sure everything's ready for me to put in the final, torquing on the bolts. Once I make sure everything's all lined up, I'll go in and tighten all the bolts so that the torque lines line up. And here I'm showing that I've tightened the bolts and everything's lined up. At this point, I'll reattach the cable back to the shock. And then once I get everything installed, I'm just going to make sure that everything's okay. So what I'm going to do is press down on the bike and just make sure the shock is functioning correctly and that everything's working. You should go easy on this until you can determine that there are no issues, and you shouldn't hear any sounds or feel anything unusual. But once you have gone in and tested it, at this point, the rear shock is installed on the bike. So I hope I've given you guys something to think about, and I will see you at the top.